Okay guys, so I am obviously back over on the mainland, back with my little car, and that means I've had about a week up here already and I'm just about ready to start heading back down south. Now obviously I will be backtracking over a lot of the same road and taking that, and I don't want to double up too much on that for you guys, so if you do want to see any of the waterfalls up here, Weeper, anything like that, which I'll be bypassing this time, then feel free to just jump back over to the first video. But I think I'm just about ready to hit the road. Sorry, just quickly before I leave, I did want to give you guys a little quick look at the Allow Beach campground because it's been really beautiful staying on the waterfront here. It's been my pick of waterfront spots over, say, Loyalty Beach, which was nice, but I just think the view is better. So I'm going to give you a quick look and then jump back onto those corrugations. Alrighty, let's see if we can drive this baby back down south. Just back at the Jardine River Ferry for round 2. I do have like a little bit of a lineup this time, only a couple cars in front of me though, so fingers crossed I can make it across again without scraping anything or bottoming out, and I will be very happy. Alrighty guys, back across safe and sound. I almost scraped it just at the last little spot coming off, but I've just pulled up right next to the little service station to check everything out, and a guy pulls up next to me with his family and goes, "Are you that girl we saw on Facebook on this group chat?" So I did post on Facebook, obviously on the Cape York group chat, a big thank you to everyone who's helped me out along the way, but it kind of blew up a little bit and ended up on a whole bunch of four-wheel drive pages, so I appreciate you all who gave me some positive feedback. But yeah, interesting that people know me along the way. But gonna keep driving down. I'm gonna head to Fruitbat for a quick little swim. I know I said I wasn't gonna double up too much, but it's really hot again, so I'm gonna do that and then keep heading through tonight. And I just cannot give Fruitbat Falls a miss, so I'm going to quickly go jump in there and hopefully not take too long so I can keep driving through this afternoon. I'm just going to jump straight in, jump under the waterfall and jump back out again. Let's go! Okay, it is absolutely beautiful in there in the water. Still a few people down there, but I think I better keep moving on, say goodbye and get back on the road. Alrighty guys. guys, I'm just back at the little rig about to hit the road, but I did, just as I was leaving, run into this guy, Daniel, from the lovely Daniel and Courtney Overland Exposure. Now these guys are actually living full-time on the road, awesome rig setup, so I just wanted to show you that, but they're actually headed up the Cape at the moment. I'm not sure if you've met these guys yourself, but they seem like a lovely couple as well if you want to check them out. Now as for me, I am about to keep driving. Still haven't decided where exactly I'm going to drive through to, but I might as well hit the road and start heading south a little further. Okay guys, so that was just a super quick little stop. Basically I did decide it's probably not worth me driving a great deal further tonight, but I am just going to drive to Brownwell Station instead of Brownwell Roadhouse because live entertainment there and it's really great environment, so I think I'd rather stay at the Roadhouse. I did stay there on the way up and I had such a lovely time, so I'm going to go stay at that one and just go that little extra like 6, 8, 10, I don't know how many kilometers down the road, and then yeah, tomorrow keep going down. So it is honestly pretty busy again at Brownwell. There's tons of campers around, like all hanging out. Basically I'm just going to cook up some dinner now and then I am going to go back to the live music tonight because I really enjoyed that last time, and then literally just have an early one. I am so tired from being on the road. Even though I didn't do that many Ks today, I will be very happy to have an early night. Good morning crew, I am just all packed up and I'm about to leave Brownwell Station. Bit of a late start again, but it did rain this morning, so thankfully a little bit of the dust is starting to wash off my car, seeing as I did have that rain at Allow Beach as well. But I really do not want to get stuck up here if the road gets slippery. I don't think we're going to get enough rain for that, but it'll be nice if it keeps the dust down. I would hate to be up here in the wet season. Anyway, so the plan for today is just to keep driving south. I want to probably do just at least a Cohen, I'm guessing, but start heading out of here. Look at these little cuties. Oh my god, they are so tiny. Be careful, little ones. I've just been biosecurity checked. That was interesting because I didn't really know what to expect. Obviously I have got a little bit of like fresh food with me. I'm hoping to stock up on a bit of stuff down here, but I've got like, in terms of fruit, I had some oranges and stuff and the guy was like, okay, can I just check them? I was like, yeah, of course, absolutely. But he said it's just mangoes that you can't bring through, so I don't know, like obviously I didn't have that much other stuff that was of concern to him, but definitely mangoes. I don't know if it's the same with bananas up here, like I've seen a lot of signs about like spreading disease and that sort of stuff, but yeah, all good. Back through the little quarantine zone and just about to hit Cohen. So interesting, learning along the way, but yeah, I'll stop off again here. I know I've done so many stops today in literally such a small distance, but you know, as I said, not in a hurry and still enjoying myself just checking it out. Alrighty, so I've just pulled up at Musgrave, which is just another roadhouse like I visited on the way here, but I figured I'd just stop off to stretch my legs anyway. And I walked in and the guy goes, oh, there's like croc feeding happening out the back if you want to go watch that. So I'm not actually staying here, but I sort of snuck through the campground and there's a dam down the back, so I want to show you guys that because it was really cool. I think the guy was literally feeding it like hamburger mints, I don't know why. But it was freshwater crocodiles, only little ones, but really cool. Not something I'd planned on seeing, but I'm gonna jump into that anyway.
this is the Musgrave campground. Obviously a few more campers in here. Here are those beautiful big cows. But I am going to keep heading through from here. I've got a little bit further to go. I want to go probably just to the next Roadhouse. But that was really cool seeing those crocodiles earlier as well. So still headed to the Roadhouse, but check this out. I'm about to clock over 2,000 Ks. So obviously my trip meter only goes to 1,000. It reset itself at 1,000. Somewhere on the way up. I don't even remember where I was, but it's about to clock over another 1,000. So that's a little bit exciting. But seriously, who would have thought I would make it this far? I definitely did not know what I was getting myself into when I started this trip, that's for sure. But I've been super lucky. 2,000 Ks of shit road. I'm not quite back yet, but no major breakdown. So I think I have done really well. There we go, right over that 2,000.
Everyone, and welcome to, rather exciting but a little bit sad as well, the very last day of the Hyundai i30 Cape York adventures. So this morning I am still at Han River, but I'm going to drive through to Lakeland today, and that's where I'm going to call it the end of the Cape York trip. Obviously I will still be on Cape York after that because it's a bloody big area. It's a very long way, but I called the start of my trip from Lakeland because that's where you make the decision to head up to Cape York. If you're going to do it, that's the point in where you say I'm going to go north, and after that from Laura, that's where you start hitting the dirt. So that's where I'm going to call my return point, where I'm going to head today. So this morning I just want to go for a walk around. I want to find my mate Aussie the emu because I'm a little disappointed this morning. He hasn't come and seen me. I've been keeping an eye out, but he hasn't. So I'm going to go find him this morning and then start driving through that last little section of dirt road. And of course when I get there, I just want to wrap this video up. I want to talk to you guys about a few things just from my trip as well. Just a bit of a breakdown on like costs, fuel, damage, all that sort of thing if you want to stick around for that. But I'm about to go for a walk now while I'm still here at Han River, and then I will shoot through and do that last section of the drive. Alrighty, now I'm not sure where my mate Aussie has gotten to. I'll have a quick look again before I leave, but I'm just about to head out now anyway. So beautiful time at Han River Roadhouse. Definitely check it out yourself. At least stop off and see Aussie if you're here. You can grab food, fuel, all of that here as well. But I'm about to shoot through now, I'd say anyway. Here we go. Here's my mate Aussie. He's hanging out right at the front of Han River. Hey buddy. Doesn't get much more Aussie than that. Looks like Aussie's given the i30 the tick of approval, just checking it out. What do you think, Aussie bird? Pretty cool? I think he's got a pretty spot here. I'd say he's pretty spoilt by tourists. Alright Oz, I think it's time for me to go, mate. So one quick last stop off at the Laura Roadhouse. I think fuel here is sitting at $1.64, so nowhere near as bad as some of the others that I've just come through, way back below that $2 point anyway, which is really nice. But I'm going to keep heading through anyway, not going to stop for that here. But I just want to show you guys as well, we have a beautiful big Queensland map here, so let's have a look. I am currently down here at Laura. This is my last stop at Lakeland. Travelled all the way through, there's Cohen, right up to Weeper, up to Mapoon, back through, took Batavia Downs Road, straight up and to the tip. So it is a long way, but very cool to be back here and almost back to the start. Okay guys, believe it or not, I did make it back in one piece. So here it is,
the little Dirty I-30 at the Gateway to Cape York sign in Lakeland. So this is where I kicked off part one of my Cape York trip. Obviously you guys would have seen that. This is where I started from. Now, since then I have clocked just over 2,000 kilometers. So I want to sit down and talk to you guys just a little bit about that before I end off this video. So just to wrap this up, I'm sure the first question you guys are gonna have is damage, because obviously little car, everyone was like, it's not gonna make it. I hadn't planned on making it myself. As I said, if you watched part one, I got to here and thought, shit, maybe I'll go to Weeper, and then Weeper was great and I kept going, and it was all of you beautiful people who gave me those little bits of road advice and different bits and pieces. So thank you all so much. You guys have been amazing, and if I met you on the way, thank you so much. I honestly do appreciate everyone that said hello, invited me over, gave me different advice, all of that. So thank you. You guys have been absolute legends. But in terms of damage, well, this is it. Nothing. So I mean, I can't say nothing entirely. When I say nothing, I mean there was no immediate damage, and I have been so lucky. I don't know how, because nearly every other person I have spoken to has done at least something. So when I say this, I mean I have had no punctured tires, no flats, I've had no additional windscreen cracks. I'm sorry about the ones you had to see and watch through in part one. I've been playing around with my camera a little bit since. They were actually from down somewhere around like 1770, just in a roadwork zone. But no windscreen chips on this trip, no breakdowns, I didn't run out of fuel anywhere. I've had no weird noises coming out of my car. That was one thing a lot of people told me, was that like once you get back on the bitumen, they were like, your car is gonna make weird sounds forever after it, like you're not gonna be able to get rid of it. It sounds completely normal so far. So far so good. I am so thankful for that. Someone has clearly been looking out for me. But in terms of long-term damage, I am gonna go probably back to Cairns or somewhere from here, grab a new air filter, grab new wiper blades, like all those little things, and probably I'm gonna need a service, because since I've been on the road a few months, I've clocked up, I'd say at least 8,000 Ks by now since I left New South Wales, 2,000 of that being this, so I will at least need a service. Now in terms of actual figures, I'm sure that's something you guys will be wondering as well. So kilometers wise, from Lakeland via Weeper through to Mapoon, across the Batavia Downs bypass, straight up to the tip, all around Seasha, Loyalty, Bamaga, Somerset, all of that, I clocked a total of 2,054 kilometers. So just over the 2,000 mark, and I want to say the majority of that is pretty shitty dirt roads. So I think I did pretty well. Yesterday I ended up doing maybe near 400 kilometers, so I did obviously do it pretty quickly on the way back down, but still it took me a grand total of 20 days all up. So I was working it out yesterday and I thought, oh, I left like Lakeland a week ago. Just to me, I've lost track of all my days. But yeah, 20 days from when I left Lakeland to when I've just gotten back to Lakeland today. So pretty incredible. Now as well, in terms of figures, have a quick guesstimate. What do you think my fuel total was? Now this is a big one that has saved me so much on this road trip. All of the four-wheel drives up here, I guarantee you are doing probably double what I'm doing, would be my estimate, especially if you're towing a van. Now not all of you, obviously, some of you would have pretty good fuel economy, but my little girl, oh my god, she did so well. So have a quick think to yourself, what do you think the I-30 did for 2,000 plus kilometers of dirt road and corrugation? Quickly as well, I'll just tell you, I'm not entirely sure what my fuel economy is. I think at the moment, or my car is telling me at the moment, that I was running 6.5 litres to the 100. This is a diesel as well. So pretty good. I think it would be more around at least 7 over those corrugation zones, but it's a little bit hard to know. So still a lot better than like a lot of the big four-wheel drives, and definitely anyone towing a van. Now as well, you've got to take into consideration that up here, fuel prices I looked at were anything between
like reasonably, like $1.70 all the way up to I think $2.20 was the most expensive I saw. This is going to fluctuate all the time, but you can expect to pay somewhere around the $2 mark a litre, and that's for diesel, which is not cheap, not at all. Everywhere else at the moment, that's at least 50 cents more expensive a litre than like say anywhere down near Cairns, any of that area. So crazy prices at the moment. But if you haven't guessed it already, my grand total for my fuel bill was $214, and I am blown away by that. I expected this trip to be super expensive. Basically, before I came, I did have a quick look at jumping on one of like the Cockatoos buses or something like that to do a trip, because I didn't think I'd be able to do it myself, and it was somewhere I wanted to see. Like, I just hadn't researched doing the trip really, or even to hire a 4-wheel drive, and either option was gonna cost me probably like at least $3,000 without like the fuel even, say, to hire a 4-wheel drive. My trip for 20 days, obviously for me, but including fuel, food, accommodation, like souvenirs, tours, entertainment, literally everything anyway, for one person. But considering one person, you still have to pay like the full camping fee of usually 2 people for a site. I have to pay the full fuel fee, everything else like that. It came in at under $1,000 for the 20 days. So again, I'm pretty happy with that. I would be very interested to know what other people were doing and how they did this trip, but for me, at least myself, hopefully that does help you guys a little bit if you're thinking of doing it yourself. It's going to be really different for everyone. Obviously, if you've got kids, if you've got family, traveling with more vehicles, the type of vehicle, how long you want to take, literally it all comes into play. But I thought you might be interested just to know those little few facts. Now, just quickly, a few other things that might be worth mentioning. People ask me if I was carrying additional fuel. I do not have a jerry can with me, so my fuel range is about 6. I'd be pushing it to get 700 kilometers, and that was no worries up here. So fuel is more expensive. You want to pick your cheaper spots. I've been using the Petrol Spy app. I find that one just sort of helps me. I don't know what different people are doing, but if you're worried about fuel, again, depends on your own route. Because I crossed through Weipa, I was able to fill up there pretty easily, but I didn't find that was an issue getting to a service station, as long as you remember to fill up at the points you can. So another thing, food is more expensive up there. You want to probably pack a fair bit of food. It's not like you can't get it, but you have to be aware that food and alcohol particularly are really at least like a few dollars more per item essentially up there. So you can get fresh food or like fresh fruit, fresh meat, all like your packaged stuff. There's still a lot of it like shops up around the top end. The roadhouses do sell a fair bit, so you can get a hold of it, but be aware you're going to pay a little bit more for all of those items wherever you are. Another thing is phone service. This one, I was aware that it was going to be pretty shit essentially throughout the Cape, because it's just a really remote area, but there are a fair few spots you can get phone service, and you just want to do your research or your texting or I don't know, whatever you want to do basically while you are in those phone service zones, because then you're going to be out of service for like a few days easily. So from Lakeland has service, Laura has service, and then you have no service I think until about Cohen. I stayed at the Exchange Hotel at Cohen and I had good service there. Then from Cohen, Weipa has good service, and then you leave Weipa and there's nothing. So obviously I took Batavia Downs. That was pretty good road considering like my car. There's no service though, so you want to figure out where you're going. Have maybe a paper map or something like that with you. I find that really helps when you're traveling spots like this. But otherwise, at least have you can download a few apps that have maps saved on your phone. Otherwise, just get a paper copy or take a photo of a map, anything like that, but have one with you, because don't expect Google Maps even to work. There is seriously no service out in these places. So then from there, Brownwell, again, no service, but once I think it was almost all the way up until you hit Jardine River Ferry. At that point there is phone service and there is like signal, but it's not very good. So of course you can like message from there or whatever if you need help, anything else like that. But up the top end as well, if you stay probably in Bamaga or in Seisha, there's pretty good service. You can you could probably get on YouTube and load a video optimistically if that's what you wanted to do, but you can definitely call, text, Google search something if you wanted to, use maps, all of that. Be aware, around that area there is still dead spots though. So like I stayed at Somerset and it was pretty basic there. Then there were other spots there was no service at all. So unlike me, what I'm trying to get at is, if you do want to do a bit of research first, do it first, and be prepared not to have the service, or let someone know where you're going, especially if you're not traveling in a group, just because there will be no service at those points. Now, in regard to having no service, a lot of people do have the CVs and like contact each other between their groups on the roads, give road updates, all of that. I, again, was not prepared for this trip and I do not have one, so I wasn't in contact with anyone else on the road. I would seriously recommend you do get one if you don't have one for this trip. I definitely would have got one had I planned to do this trip. I think it would be really good, and even if you don't need it, it's kind of fun to like talk to everyone, listen to everyone, be a part of the conversation, all of that. However, the last final thing I want to say is just seriously be aware, like there are so many other people around. Pick your time when you're going to do it. I would recommend not doing it in the school holidays if you have that opportunity not to, purely because the number of people on the road is going to be hectic. And there's just going to be people passing you all the time, or you're going to have to pass people all the time, and it's really difficult to do with the visibility on those dirt roads purely because of the dust. It's just ridiculous. You don't want to be sitting in someone's dust and they don't want to be sitting in yours. So pick your timing pretty well. Obviously the wet season is completely out. Just don't do it. Like no one's traveling then. Do the Cape at a good time, enjoy it. And just seriously get out there, and there will be so many people. If you break down or if something goes wrong, there is going to be someone within like a couple minutes drive away, seriously, that will be there to help if you seriously need it. If you're thinking about doing this trip and that's what you're worried about, someone will come past, and there's that many mechanics like up the top end or repair people or things like that that probably can get you parts if that's what you need. As I said, I was super lucky not to have done that. Of course, things like if I had have got a flat tire, I can change it myself, or things like that. Check your oil, water, check your headlights. The amount of people I saw, because obviously you're driving on dirt road with headlights on, with like one working headlight or headlights off. Seriously, when you stop to check your oil and water, check that your headlights work, because it's a really shit spot to be driving with them off. It's just one of those things that's gonna make you a bit more visible to other drivers and make things stand out a bit more so you don't end up in an accident. Alrighty guys, I think that is just about enough of an absolute spiel from me. If you do have any other questions or comments or anything you want to know, feel free to jump down below and leave a comment, and I will try and get back to you and help out as much as I can. I just want to again say a massive thank you to everyone. You guys out there with the 4-wheel drives are obviously set up to do this, and I just want to say you guys are killing it. I am so jealous. Obviously I tried my best effort to get everywhere I could with this trip. I just wasn't prepared for it, so I really do appreciate all the support I got and all the people along the way. But you guys out there taking on Gunshot and like Nolan's, all of those hectic crossings, Frenchman's Track, you are so brave. I'm so jealous, and I will definitely be back one day to do it. But again, for now, thank you so much everyone. I loved everyone that I got to meet, and the whole Cape journey basically. I do hope you all get to do it for yourselves. But thank you so much for watching. As I said, if you do have any more questions about 2-wheel driving the Cape or just the experience itself, let me know. I will get back to you, and I will catch you guys in the next video just as soon as I can.